Wisco, let's do this thing. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Weeds Day. Another beautiful week here in Wisconsin. Thank you to everybody for stopping out this evening. We got a few things to chop up this evening. As we get rolling, Jill, first one here. Let's go. Jill, I got to hit you back on your questions about growing. I apologize. I've been doing a lot of driving the last couple of days. Excuse me. Appreciate everybody swinging out. I always like to start out with giving a big shout out to our supporters of the show, you wonderful fans. Thank you for stopping out. We got the sponsorship with Higher Love, our partners for the podcast. Super appreciate them. Shout out to Joni for joining us on Monday. That was an awesome episode. Got a lot of great feedback, and that was just really neat to get that take on things. Johnny, what's up, my man? Hope your evening's going well, sir. Thanks for swinging by. We're just doing that thing over here, talking some cannabis in the lovely state of Wisconsin, where it is such a neat thing to be trying to track because it's crazy out there, folks. Excited tomorrow. Going to be meeting with some Republican lobbyists who want to support cannabis legalization. So hopefully that'll get us some insight on the way forward, as that seems to be the holdup. Whatever we're not able to figure out at this point. Again, it's going to take both sides. There's something we don't know. So looking forward to being able to get some kind of a pulse on that tomorrow. So I'll keep you guys posted on that as that moves forward. So lots of interesting things popping off. Wanted to get this shared with you guys. Let me get my screen rolling here. Joe, what are you working on this evening? Is it the flower, or we got the edibles kicking over there? Peace, looking forward to seeing tomorrow. Looking forward to it as well, my man. Gonna be down there in that Pewaukee, checking it out. That's how we roll in the wonderful village. Is it a village of Pewaukee? I don't even know. It's a nice little spot, especially that Green Swan hemp. They got a beautiful little store there, and Pete's the man. You need it, he's got it. Pete don't mess around at Green Swan hemp, and that's for real. All right. If we can get Google Slides to work, because it's a lot easier for me to share this stuff with you guys. Let's see if it will copy over like it says it's going to. There we go. But again, lots of great feedback from our interview on Monday. Joni, that was really cool, especially with her background in plant science. Got a lot of insight and just kind of a peek into a dispensary and seeing how things work in a legal state. Being that obviously we hope to be there one day, but just to get some insight into here, just like cannabis lounges are legal up there, but obviously a whole new spectrum of insurance and that kind of thing. So again, really appreciate Joni's time. If you guys know anyone, we've got a couple more exciting guests coming up, but if there's anybody out there in the cannabis world, please send me some information. We're just trying to talk to as many people as we can and as many different topics as we can. I think it's really the way forward, is just covering everything we can think of and working on this together. So getting somebody from Michigan, that was on the list of, man, that'd be cool. So very excited about that. Burton, what's up? Jeremiah, how's it going, boss? Appreciate you guys. All right, looks like it is ready to rock over here on the Google Slides machine. So let's get that pulled up. Nothing too crazy today. Going to be a little shorter. We've got some stuff popping off with a few different things. And then news-wise, there just wasn't too much going on over the past couple of days. And again, our lovely state politics being out of session, just mind-boggling to me. But that's where they're at. And we've got a lot of feelers out there, but a lot of folks saying, well, maybe we can, we look forward to, we would love to join, but let's do it when we're back in session. Like, why don't we get you on here now? Like, what are we waiting for? Burton Jay says, hey, you guys. He's talking pretty slow this evening, Jay is, or his button sticking. Could be both. I guess we don't know. Shouldn't assume, Bob. All right, let's get this rolling here as far as news goes. Got a few interesting things to share with you guys. See what your takes are. This, I don't know if this is surprising. Employees are cheating on workplace drug tests at record rates, and legalized cannabis could be to blame. Maybe you got a broken system out there, but I wanted to see what this was. You guys are good at sending me articles, so we stay up to date on what's going on out there. Um, looks like this one it's got a paywall, so we got to find a different article. Here we go. Yahoo Finance, they take care of us. So it looks like we've got drug screens are at a rate not seen in over 30 years as far as cheating is involved, according to Quest Diagnostics. That sounds pretty important. While the number of Americans testing positive for listed substances remains stable for the third year in a row. That is potentially because more are resorting to extreme measures to mask their consumption habits. The goodies, fair. I cheated on mine. You gotta do what you gotta do out there. Like I probably shouldn't be like, hey, cheat. That's good, but you gotta do what you gotta do, man. I get it. But so when it comes to here, we're talking about some American workers are going to great lengths to attempt to subvert the drug testing processes. Well, yeah, no kidding. One increasingly popular method is substituting urine samples to use other people's urine, synthetic urine that can be purchased online, or even animal urine. I didn't know that was a thing. Pete says only people these companies have to blame is themselves for not dropping cannabis on their list of illicit drugs. I agree with that. Quest data showed a six-fold increase last year in substituted samples. Holy shit, six-fold? That's a lot. But I suppose the states are getting legal, but then so you're following the law and you're consuming legal product, but then your workplace still tests. What the hell are you going to do? Get fired? One increasingly popular method is substituting, which we talked about. Another common example that can, however, invalidate results and cause a subject to fail drug screening is not to swap urines, but to blend in additives. Many places only test for hard drugs. Yes, that's how they should be doing it. Another common example is, or what are these additives? I wanted to see what they're talking about here. So it looks like out of more than 8.4 million urine samples tested last year, that's a lot of piss. Just how did it? I always wondered, like, does it get there without spilling anywhere? I don't know. That's just me. Back to the topic at hand here. States where recreational cannabis have been legalized, such as New York and Colorado, have seen the largest swing, with 5.8% of the tests positive last year, up from 2.4 in 2015. As a result, employers are reconsidering what drug test policies may need to be changed to reflect the patchwork of different laws on statute books. Hello. Thank you. Burton says some employers stop testing because they can't get anyone. Yep, right. Felt that. Remember, Wisconsin's at will employment state. They can do whatever they want when they want, right? It's something else. Vibin says we need a test that falls when the consumer consumed, exactly, for business, insurance, and driving under the influence. 100% agree with that. Vibing in the Pines. I'm looking forward to that announcement. Woo! Getting excited, vibing in the Pines. After cannabis, amphetamine ranks as the second most common substance to be discovered during drug screening, with the positivity rate that increased only marginally from 1.5 up from 1.3. Okay, so this wasn't really anything earth-shattering. I always like to look into these, see what. Usually, there's some kind of negative connotation when it comes to talking about an article like this. So I'm glad to see that there wasn't that. They're just stating the facts, laying it down, and should be saying, hey, you states, we suck because it's legal here, yet we're still checking for it, even though it's such an outdated testing method. Can't tell if it's actually being consumed on the premises. Like, silly, mad, really, not silly. It's mad. So, yeah, the synthetic urine is on the rise, six-fold. It's crazy. Louisiana's budding legal cannabis industry could be in jeopardy. That caught my eye as well. Wanted to see what we got about here. Looks like 2 years ago, lawmakers legalized certain products containing THC, which has grown into a multi-million-dollar industry. Go figure. Now it steps away from that being illegal again. Flip flop, I think is what they call that. The old flip flop. Let's see what we got going on with that. Looks like in 2022, state lawmakers in Louisiana legalized some products containing THC, somewhat by accident. The recreational cannabis industry has seen a multi-million dollar boom since then, but the House will vote on a bill that would make it illegal once again. So basically, there were a stack of flyers. They were doing an investigation here. It sounds like stacks of flyers sit by each register at Simply Cannabis Mid-City store, urging customers to call representatives and voice their opposition to the bill. The store, which has 3 locations across the city, sells seltzers, gummies, tinctures, and other products containing THC. We would have to shut down completely. So these would be like the hemp derived, like we have here in Wisconsin, is what it sounds like. The bill would partially repeal a 2022 state law. As far as hemp intoxicants go, hemp is nearly the same plant as cannabis, but contains much less of the main psychoactive ingredient, THC. Among other uses, the law authorized edible products such as those sold at Simply Cannabis as long as they don't contain more than 0.3% THC. It did not, however, specify how many servings could be sold in each package. This essentially legalized recreational THC products in Louisiana. The industry is growing rapidly since, similar to what you'd see in a lot of states that aren't legal, fully legal, if you will, where hemp is the way to get access to cannabis. So sounds like they've got a few different stores working together, a few different dispensaries, and similar to like what we have here in Wisconsin. They're talking about we have 21-year-olds to 90-year-olds. We have grandmothers coming in because they say it helps them sleep better every night, so on and so forth. So it sounds like they are going through the rigmarole over here in Louisiana as well. So it seems to be getting a lot of attention across the board at the different state levels. So it'll be interesting to see how things shake out there. It looks like the bill passed through the Senate, and the committee reported it favorably by a vote. Next, it'll be voted on by the full House, and from there, it will only need the governor's signature to become law. So keep an eye on that, see what's going on, and see what we can do and try to learn from this monogamy of what is going on out here, folks. Legal, not legal. It is legal, not legal. We don't know what we're doing. Why don't they just say that? We don't know what we're doing. We need people to talk to us. Jeremiah says they're working on a saliva-based test that show concentrations of THC and the differences between THC and CBD. That's good to hear. And again, just my stance on this for some time has been with all the technology we have, I feel like they got to be able to figure this out. But I think it helps them that they can't, or they haven't figured it out yet because now the testing goes back. So, it just makes everything so much more, so much easier to try and get charges on somebody, being that, well, it's in your system. And yeah, unfortunately, we can only test back 28. It's so stupid. Why can't we follow Colorado, right? Something. Some of these states, Michigan, I would definitely take Michigan as far as they've got their setup. And actually, I think I got something on Michigan coming up here. But so that is Louisiana. When it comes to Ohio, it looks like they are going to be going. Rec sales should be opening up in June. I wanted to see when they must have just started the growing, would be my guess. Wanted to check that out with you guys here. So looks like we've got regulations rolling along for Ohio's pending recreational cannabis program, with the earliest sales likely to start as soon as next month after a state joint committee advanced rules Monday on dual licensure. Applicants for dual licenses for existing medical dispensaries to sell cannabis products to adult non-medical customers will go live sometime between May 27th and the deadline of June 7th. So it's not even opened up yet. Once facilities get the green light, sales can start. Representative Jamie, who co-chairs the joint, said in an interview last month the Division of Cannabis Control told him the turnaround time will be prompt. We'll see about that. Again, we're talking cannabis. I don't like to do anything prompt. Aside from waiting and watching for the state regulations, this gentleman said they're looking to double their staff to prepare for the influx of customers and also planning for potential shortages of some products, at least initially. Again, guys, we're talking about cannabis. that helps so many people. And it's just silly. Like they know the people. It helps. They know it helps the people. They know it's medicine. They know there's a demand for it, but still legalizing it is like pulling teeth. It's just it's crazy. They're expecting big crowds. We'll be welcoming people into our stores with open arms. Um, Looks like they're just hanging tight to let the rule makers make the rules. That's some areas that the initiated statute didn't address. That as we move into a whole new sector, there will be some things we need to do. There will be a cannabis bill at some point. So it looks like they have a division of cannabis control as well in their state, which would make sense, obviously being legal. And they set the rules to go before the joint committee in the coming weeks and months. So, but either way, it looks like they are not far away from getting their legal adult responsible use cannabis over here in Ohio, Wisconsin. Take notes. Take notes. Michigan's adult use cannabis sales are up 21% from last year. That is crazy to me. It's actually the nation's second largest market, reported nearly 1.1 billion in sales for the first 4 months of 2024. 1.1 billion in sales in 4 months in one state. That's crazy. Oh man, that's just crazy. 1.1 billion. Come on, Wisconsin. Come on, Wisconsin. Looks like they've got the sales figures represent 21% increase from so last year it was 880 million that adult use customers spent during the first 4 months of last year, up to 1.1 billion. That's crazy. What else were they talking about in here? As adult use sales continue to surge, Michigan's medical cannabis market has nosedived to all-time lows, with 8.6 million in sales during the first 4 months of 2024, a 78% decrease from the year prior. Holy smokes! And again, I think that just comes down to a lot less of red tape. You know, a lot less. You need this license. You need that. You need to be on this list, or it's crazy. Green Swan says, and we have politicians actively lobbying against legalization. Makes me sick to my stomach. Right? 100%. They broke down some numbers on here I want to share with you guys. Looks like we've got they figure the main reason for medical nosediving is the result of adult use. Retail pricing is falling in line with medical cannabis. In April 2024, the average retail price per ounce was $86 for adult use flower and $99 for medical flower. Holy smokes. In comparison, in April of last year, holy shnikes, average price for adult use flower was $413 and $259 for medical. Wow, those prices have really come down. That's crazy. So it went from $413 an ounce for adult responsible use last year in 2020, $413 for adult use to $86.61. That's crazy. A quarter of the price, less than a quarter of the price. Wow. And it's got to be because they're moving so much flower. Supply and demand. That's how it works. Medical cannabis sales represent 0.8% of Michigan's overall marketplace so far in 2024, less than 1%. This comes after the state had one of the most robust medical markets in the nation in 2020. Back in 2020, medical was 48% of its overall sales. Holy smokes. That is a swing, folks. That is a swing. Danky Dank, what's up? Thanks for swinging by. Mohican is in Gresham. Hi, let's go. Thanks for swinging by, buddy. Can't compete with that, right? Or oversupply. Yes, that's true. Or just nice folks, maybe. Maybe they want to hook it up. Maybe they know the Wisconsinites are struggling. So like, yo, let's cut them a break. We know they gotta drive up here, pay for gas. Let's hook them up. Let's just get rid of this real cheap. I doubt it. But hey, they are pretty nice, as we saw from Joni with Higher Love, as far as she's involved. So since the beginning of 2020, Michigan's licensed cannabis retailers have reported more than $9.2 billion in sales including 7.9 in adult use, 1.3 billion in medical, as the nation's second largest cannabis market. And also, I would be willing to bet that their market is so well because of Wisconsin, because we're so big into cannabis, because we're smart, but our politicians are not smart. So we support Michigan because we're good like that. That's why Michigan rocks. I did not say that out loud, did I? Michigan rocks. I feel like, yeah, I better stop talking. My wife's from Michigan, so love you, hon. This is only bested by California, where customers spent more than 22 billion. So California is about double Michigan, and that sounds about right to me. Green Swan says maybe it's more about passion instead of the almighty dollar, right? Kudos to them if that is the case. Kudos to them. So far in 2024, Michigan's cannabis retail market is highlighted by a record 288 million in overall sales in March, a month that included 5 Fridays and 5 Saturdays, typically the 2 biggest sale days of the week. It looks like Michigan retailers are selling an average of roughly 83,600 pounds of adult use cannabis flower per month in 2024. That's a 7% increase compared to the first 4 months of 2023. 83,500 pounds of cannabis per month. Damn, that's a lot. That's a lot of flower, folks. Michigan's flower sales accounted for 124 million in April, or 45% of the market, while vape cartridges at 18%, and then concentrates 13, edibles 9. Interesting. I thought edibles would be a little higher, but to each their own. To each their own. Looks like they have Michigan is up to 1,044 active adult use grower license and 793 adult use retailer license as of April 30th. Where last year they were at actually very similar as far as active growers goes, and retailers are up 130, which is a decent amount. So they are up in their production. I would assume if their sales are up that much, it's the only way to supply it, folks. It says right now, at their current pace, Michigan's cannabis retailers will eclipse 3.2 billion in sales in 2024. However, Michigan dispensaries have traditionally experienced their largest sales months in the latter half of the year, so it could be even well north of that 3.2 billion mark. Crazy, the amount of jobs, revenue, businesses. That is insane. Those numbers are insane. I don't know what these folks don't get here in Wisconsin. That those numbers are beautiful when you're talking about economic growth, try to help communities, get it off the streets. That's just crazy. For some reason this one didn't load correctly, but we have an article here about lawmakers that want to allow state officials to cap prices on medical cannabis. It's curious to see what something like that would look like. I feel like typically setting a limit on price might not be a bad thing, but when you see lawmakers involved, I don't know. I want to see what this is about here. Looks like they've got some state officials together here. Stress that they agree with medical cannabis patients who say the price of cannabis in New Jersey remains too expensive. So now we're switching to New Jersey. So we're kind of going to a state similar to Illinois, is my understanding, as far as pricing goes, which is not great unless you're looking to make money. State officials here. One lawmaker is looking across the Delaware River at what Pennsylvania has done, including a provision in its medical cannabis law allowing state cannabis officials to implement price caps if cannabis prices become unreasonable or excessive. What are your thoughts on that? Would you like to see something like that? Do you think they would use that to help people? I feel like if you would, that'd be a good thing. Again, just giving more control to the government is always makes me a little uneasy. But if flour's not moving because it's too expensive, like Illinois, do they have this set up where people can put a cap or not? Because if they have it, it's not working. Their stuff is ridiculously priced. So they want to use Pennsylvania statute as a model, introducing a bill in March that would allow the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission to set price caps on medical cannabis cultivators, manufacturers, or dispensaries if they're selling their products at a price that is unreasonable and inconsistent with their actual costs. Fair. The commission would be allowed to cap prices for 6 months intervals. Why don't we have something like this for gas? Like, gas is one thing I never understand where all of a sudden it just in a week can go up $1 or go down $1. Why isn't there somebody helping out with that too? If this works, less government control. It's a double-edged sword, right? Joe says Wisconsin is going to wait until the federal government legalizes it first. Not if we can do something about it, but I mean, sadly, yeah. So it looks like an advocate who tracks cannabis prices in New Jersey here was chiming in. He says it's very similar to how pharmaceutical drugs and other commodities are sold. When large corporations are given the chance, they will be greedy. He said, unfortunately, we've been sold the same promises for almost 13 years that prices would come down and there was more competition and more businesses, but the same businesses have been here the whole time and price remains remarkably similar. Interesting. It says here, critics like this advocate have linked the high prices of legal cannabis to the corporations that control a large part of New Jersey's market. So this is what we don't want to have happen in Wisconsin. Out of about 40 cultivators, just a handful are independent in New Jersey. The vast majority are corporations filling retailers' shelves, even in most mom and pop shops. Uh-huh. So they've got some prices on here. This was interesting to see. So at Ascend in Fort Lee, the price of an eighth without any discounts is $65 or $50 if it's on sale. In Scranton, Pennsylvania, the same amount of medical cannabis costs $15. Oh. So yeah, this is a Michigan, Illinois similarity, but they're right next to each other. At Curaleaf in Bordentown, an eighth costs $60, and in Pennsylvania it costs $32.50. Yeah, so they've got the same shit going on over there. Anna says, got my RSO from Higher Love. It's working great for my pancreas. That's awesome. I'm really glad to hear that, Anna. Really glad to hear that. Glad they helped you out. Mohican said Republicans plan to pass medical next session. Moving to Schedule 3 alleviates most of their concerns. No smoking, no. That would be my assumption. And hopefully I'll get a little more insight on that tomorrow with the meetings. I'll keep you posted on that. But basically, running into the same thing over here in the fine state of New Jersey that we have in Illinois as far as pricing goes, and they're looking to set cap prices on medical cannabis. So, be interesting to see how that shakes out. Again, in theory, I just wish it wasn't like the government. I wish it was a legit like cannabis consumer mega. Just a person of the people that helps watch those numbers. I don't know. I just getting the government involved. I feel like you're setting yourself up there, but if they did what they said they were gonna do, it would be a good thing in my opinion. But what do I know? 60 and 8th, that's ridiculous, right? That's what I'm saying, Petey Pablo. Little absurd. If you can't smoke it, might as well stay how it is right now, right? Pretty much. But we'll see what happens. So, again, not too much news shakeups. We got a few more guests lined up. Always looking forward to that. Again, really enjoyed having Joni on Monday. Thought that she was awesome, and really appreciated her time to join us and again to share some insight from a legal state. Look forward to again. We're going to be in Pewaukee tomorrow. Stopping by Green Swan Hemp Company, talking to a few lobbyists down there. Kind of having a lobby think tank, but excited that it's these are folks that deal mainly with Republicans, and they're looking to pick up this topic. So really excited about that. We've got to figure out what's going on that side of things, and we need to get both sides on this thing. It's going to take both of them. So appreciate everybody stopping out. Again, I want to keep tonight a little short and sweet. So we'll let you get back to your week. Hopefully it finished strong. We'll see you Friday evening. We'll chop it up. We might have a guest. He's letting me know if he's going to be able to make it or not. We've kind of been back and forth on dates and stuff. So we'll see how that shakes out. But either way, I'll be here. Hope everybody has a great evening. And let's keep up the fight, folks. We're going to figure this out. We are going to figure this out. So have a good evening. Baba Beans is out.